Absolutely. Absolutely. Here's the thing. Somebody, and I know they say, oh, this is a party house, people could get in, and blah, blah, blah.
Innocent until what's going on, man? Listen, some of y'all caught it, some of y'all didn't. I did do a video the other day, man, about the, the Brent K body cam footage that I ended up taking down. I didn't like the video, man, so I'm either going to edit that video or I'm going and put it back up, or I'm just going to re-record a new one, Lord willing, because I do have some things that I want to say about that, man. I pray everything is well for you guys where you're at, and that's that. I'm often encouraged by you guys, man. You send me a lot of content. You show me a lot of things, in the comment section through your interaction. And I often tell a lot of you, like, you need to start a blog. It's my opinion. You should start a blog or your own, platform, YouTube or something, get it going. And I mean that. I don't just say that to stroke egos, you know what I'm saying? So I got a little bit of a surprise video, here for you guys. This young lady, she started sharing her thoughts with me. And then and I asked her, I said, why don't you have your own platform? And then, she sent me some voice notes, and I told her, you literally recorded this to send it to me, and you could have recorded it, and put it on your own platform. And then I said, you know what, I'm going to make a YouTube video out of your content. So that's what I have for you guys. It's very interesting. It's not anything that we haven't rehashed time and time again, because we've been thinking about it from the beginning. But I do want to bring this up, man. I am a believer in following the stars, not like literal stars, but I mean the figurative aspect of that analogy. And I've been thinking more and more, mentioning it even in my videos, man. We have all but lost sight of the roommates, man. And so I think this young lady just raises some questions that we've all asked before. She breaks it down in her own, format. So I want you guys to hear it, and it also helps me cheat until I get this new video back to you guys. But for the record, like I say, number one, I think her thoughts are very articulate and worth hearing. And number two, it does fit with the pattern of thoughts that have been coming back to my mind. But damn it, with everything going on in the case, we forgot about the roommate. So let's just get to it, man. We might talk a little bit more at the end, but I definitely want to know what you guys think. Let's go. Hey guys, I didn't realize when I was watching this originally, but then I realized that watching it on editing. If you can't tell, this is a conversation that we were having on Instagram, and also the young lady, many of you can relate. She is, I hope she doesn't mind me sharing this, but you can hear it in the background. She's a mom, so she was mothering while sharing these thoughts as well. So you can hear that in the background, but you can absolutely hear everything she's saying. I know I could, so I know you guys will be able to too. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Here's the thing. Somebody, and I know they say, oh, this is a party house, people could get in, and blah, blah, blah. If, let's say it was Brian Koberger. If Brian Koberger had never been in that house before, somebody had to tell him where to go. Which door, who was in where, right? So somebody had to let him in. I think somebody had to let him in. Somebody had to let him know when they were sleeping, because there was hella cars out front. Kaylee had a brand new Range Rover nobody had ever seen. Y'all just had a gang of people over there last night. And so somebody's just going to run up to the house like, oh yeah, I'm just going to kill anybody that's in there. So, if we are to believe that this was Brian Koberger and he was driving around up and down the street before he even went in there, then you saw the DoorDash delivery. So then you know that people are awake. So now, unless you know for a fact that you are Rambo, you're not going to just go in here with a knife like, you know what, I'm killing everything moving. How do you know that you're not about to go in there and the whole frat house from across the street wasn't in there playing beer pong, about to roll you out, and then now they're stabbing you with your own knife. And then now they gotta hide your body so nobody knows that you were even here. And apparently you don't have any friends, so nobody would even be looking for you. So Dylan, her story's weird. Because were you scared, or you thought they were partying? If you were scared, but you were still texting and calling to see, like, y'all okay? So when you didn't get a response from anybody but Bethany, why didn't you then call the police? Why didn't you go checking then? Oh, because you thought that the person was still in the house. I don't believe a single solitary word that she said. I think that that was a stupid story that she tried to make up to sound like, oh, I heard something going on, but I wasn't sure what was happening. You knew exactly what was going on. You tried to make up a stupid story to cover up what happened on your end from your perspective, and it sounds dumb. That's why there's so many holes in it, because it doesn't make sense. She tried to make it up. She's not that smart. So that's why we ended up with this. Oh, I looked out 3 times and oh, I saw somebody in black and oh, I was scared. But you didn't call 911. You didn't call your boyfriend. You didn't call Hunter then. You didn't buy. You know what? It sounds like they're walling in here. I'm going to head out. You didn't leave? Nope, nothing. But no, you can't leave, because if I leave, then it's going to look like I had something to do with it. So now I have to sit here for 8 hours. 8 hours is crazy. 8 hours is crazy. And then says, oh, the 911 call for an unconscious person. So everybody keeps going back and forth about if that's like like some type of internal shorthand. But no, the police statement that they put out said that they thought that someone was in the room passed out and could not respond to them. I have a screenshot of like the police bulletin that they put out. So it's not some type of internal shorthand. Somebody actually said, hey, I think they're knocked out. I need help. But they've been dead for 8 hours. So you know it smelled like death in there. You got 4 dead bodies cooking in the house. You know it stunk in there. So all this, you heard what was happening overnight. You supposedly was like, ooh, this is crazy. Too much for me. I'm going to go to sleep. Then you wake up in the morning. Hey, Xana's not opening the door. Let me call Hunter. That doesn't even make sense. And it stinks in here.
Innocent until. Ain't that something? I told you, man, the young lady definitely said what she wanted to say. I want to reiterate a couple of things, man. Number one, I personally don't know these young women are guilty of anything, Dylan and Bethany. From the very beginning, though, I have considered them the best suspects. I do think that they have all but been forgotten in the melee of everything else going on. So I am, in the interest of justice, I don't say that just to sound good, not unhappy at all to just remind us that there are people like right there. We don't have to worry about necessarily the other 2 or 3 DNA profiles. I'm not saying forget it, but before we even get to any of that, whether the judge can be trusted, whether Ann can be trusted, all these other questions we have, before we even get to that, like, let's not forget that the 2 most likely people to be involved in this, if not absolutely guilty of it alone, are still the people that were left alive at the scene. It's still very befuddling to me in a way that it's just like, how can you look yourself in the mirror and say that this is okay, that people won't even consider them, that they will begin to verbally slander you. And I don't even like to use that word attack. It's been so attached to the victimization culture that we have made the hierarchy of living in this day and time. But they will verbally insult you, verbally assault you, whatever words you want to use, just for being willing to consider that these 2 young women are possibly culpable in this situation, in these tragedies. So shout out to her for bringing that back up. I want to know what where do they fit into this and everything that's being unveiled, everything we're discovering, everything we're finding out about this tragedy, and things that are still questionable all this time later, a year later. Where do they fit in now for you? You know what I mean? It seems like we're learning new things to make us ask new questions, but then there are also questions that should have been answered long ago that we're still questioning, if not even more so now. And where does Dylan and Bethany fit into all of this for you? Also the students that were called over there this morning, because obviously they were called, so there's some level of trust there, and they were there, whether it was 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. Where do they, but specifically Dylan and Bethany, fit into all of this for you? Thank you guys for watching, man. I do got that other video coming, man. We're going to talk about that body cam footage. Y'all be safe. Yo, I want to be clear, man, that I
said maybe it's